The reason your life works is the same reason it won't calm down. Not because you're broken, but because it worked. The system that you built made you effective, decisive, reliable under pressure. It also trained your body to require friction in order to function. And now, the very mechanism that produced your success is taxing you in ways that you can't outwork. This is not a motivation problem, and it's not burnout in the way that a lot of people mean it. And it's not something that rest will fix. It's a system that outlived the environment it was designed for. And that's where the real cost begins. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is for people who operate well in chaos and poorly in calm, people whose lives look functional from the outside and feel unnecessarily expensive on the inside. If that's you, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Today we're talking about why your system worked and why it's failing you now. Not emotionally, operationally. Because if you don't understand what problem your behavior originally solved, you'll keep trying to optimize a pattern that no longer fits the terrain. I studied leadership, behavioral adaptation, and nervous system economics. I also lived this pattern long before I could name it. High-pressure environments reward speed, vigilance, and over-responsibility. They punish hesitation, they punish softness, and they punish recovery. So people like you learned, accurately, how to survive and succeed there. The mistake is assuming that was adaptive, therefore permanent. It isn't. Nothing here is pathological. Nothing here is personal failure. Your system did exactly what it was supposed to do. The problem is that systems don't self-retire. They just keep running until the cost exceeds the return. And most high performers don't measure cost until the bill is undeniable. Let's start with how the system actually formed. You learned, early or repeatedly, that outcomes depended on you noticing problems before they escalated. So you became fast, you became anticipatory, you became hard to surprise. And within 24 hours, this shows up as you scanning conversations for what might have went wrong. You preemptively solve things no one asked you to solve, and you move before clarity because movement feels safer than stillness. This isn't anxiety, it's logistics. And in unstable environments, it's rewarded. I didn't learn to rest until there was nothing left to fix. And by then, rest felt like failure. Here's the leverage. Urgency trains your system to equate speed with safety. Once that association is set, calm feels like exposure. You're not addicted to stress. You're conditioned to resolve threat quickly. And that worked. But that conditioning doesn't disappear just because your life stabilized. The nervous system doesn't care about promotions, titles, or current conditions. It cares about pattern recognition. If vigilance kept you safe before, your body keeps deploying it, even when the environment no longer requires it. This looks like difficulty downshifting after work. You stay mentally on during downtimes. You convert free time into low-grade productivity. You tell yourself you're just disciplined, but discipline without recovery becomes extraction. I used to call this work ethic. It was actually unending mobilization. Leverage here is not relaxation. It's context updating. Your system hasn't learned that the rules have changed. And no amount of insight fixes a system that still believes it's under threat. That's why rest doesn't land. People tell you all the time, you need rest. And you try it. And it feels pointless, irritating, or hollow. That's not resistance. That's mismatch. Rest assumes a system that knows how to stand down. And yours doesn't. Within 24 hours, you turn rest into optimization. You schedule it, you track it, you make it productive, which defeats the function. The leverage here is not rest, it's retraining safety without urgency. And that's slower than high performers want. Which brings us to the cost. The cost is not exhaustion, it's narrowing. Your system trades range for readiness. You lose tolerance for ambiguity. You lose creative slack. You lose emotional bandwidth, not because you're cold, but because everything feels like it requires management. And within 24 hours, this looks like impatience with inefficiency, difficulty being present without improving something, relationships starting to feel like obligations instead of replenishment. Let me be clear about where we are. Your system worked. It still works. But it's failing now because the environment changed and the strategy didn't. And systems that don't update become liabilities. So what actually changes with this? You already know this pattern. Knowing hasn't stopped it because insight operates at the cognitive level. Your system was trained at the physiological one. Within 24 hours, you default to control when uncertain. You step in. You tighten. Leverage comes from introducing non-urgent safety, not comfort, not collapse, but experiences where nothing is demanded and nothing breaks. That's uncomfortable and necessary. This is where most people sabotage the shift. Your identity is built on reliability. If you stop being vigilant, who are you? That question keeps the system online. And within 24 hours, you volunteer when you don't need to. You overfunction to avoid feeling dispensable. The leverage here is redefining value away from constant readiness, not philosophically, behaviorally. Small acts of non-intervention, which leads to the actual reframe. This is not burnout. Burnout implies depletion. This is misapplied capacity. You're running a crisis engine in a stable life, and engines don't self-downshift. They have to be recalibrated. Now, if you want to keep working on you in between now and the next video, start by clicking here for a video that I know you're going to love, and it's going to hold you until our next video drops so that you can keep working on you. And if you want to help applying all of these tips and tricks to your life or your business, check the description for coaching details. My work is built for people in the middle of real transitions where your old playbook still works, but it's costing you more than it should. I help you get objective, clarify what matters, map the constraints, and build a strategy you can execute consistently. No hype, no vague motivation, just systems, decisions, and measurable next steps. Whether you're scaling a business or rebuilding after a hard season, or just trying to stop living like everything is an emergency, the goal is the same: a clear roadmap and a disciplined framework that you can trust. There's a link in the description to book a discovery call, and we'll look at your situation, define the outcome, and decide if structured coaching engagement makes sense to you for you right now. If you know someone who's competent, respected, and quietly exhausted by calm, send this video to them privately. They'll know why. Don't forget, folks, you're not broken. You're just trained. So, go find some peace.